Now, I know y'all ain't ready for me to be back, but I'm back. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I'm Van. We are all the LFR family. Thank you so much for pulling up. We're about to have another good time like we did last time. Just make sure you hit that like button. As we can clearly see, Trump is already doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He said, promises made. What did he say after that? I said, promises made. Y'all write down what he said after that. And if you ain't right, promises kept, then you're wrong. Check this out, man. This is nuts. He's already at work, bro.
Sir, this next executive order is about protecting America from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats. Again, crisis at the border, but it goes beyond that and it implicates other executive powers as well.
Okay.
President Trump, if cartels are now going to be seen as foreign terror organizations, would you think about ordering U.S. Special Forces into Mexico to take them out?
Could happen. Stranger things have happened.
Mr. President,
And that was actually
that Maduro would accept Venezuelans.
Say it.
How will you make sure that Maduro would accept Venezuelans?
Well, we're going to see Venezuela. We're looking at Venezuela very strongly. It's a country I know very well for a lot of reasons, and it's well, it was a great country 20 years ago, and now it's a mess. Right?
Sir, can we expect ICE raids starting tomorrow in major cities?
What does that mean?
Can we expect ICE raids in major cities?
I don't want to say when, but it's going to happen. It has to happen, or we're not going to have a country left.
This is actually an executive order designating the cartels and other organizations to be foreign terrorist organizations.
That's a big one.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, he going at him.
People have wanted to do this for years. So they are now designated as terrorist organizations, foreign. And Mexico probably doesn't want that. But we have to do what's right. They're killing our people. They're killing 250, 300,000 American people a year. Not 100, like has been reported for 15 years. It's probably 300,000.
This is an executive.
Mexico doesn't want that. How are you going to deal with this?
I don't know. You'll have to ask them.
Sir, this is an executive order entitled Protecting the American People Against Invasion, which again deals with the southern border and the unprecedented admission of illegal aliens across the southern border.
Trump not playing, bro. He not playing. It's day one. He's getting it all out the way.
What do you see the biggest national security threat to the U.S., Mr. President? What's going to be your priority on foreign policy?
Say?
What's going to be your priority on foreign policy? What do you see as the biggest
Well,
national
foreign
security
policy is a
threat?
big statement. I mean, my priority on foreign policy is going to be to keep America safe. Very simple. It's a big question, though. That's a really big question.
Who is going to be the first foreign leader that you plan to meet, or who are you going to call tomorrow on your first day?
I've already been meeting people. I've been meeting them. I've been talking to them. I met with Prime Minister Trudeau, like all Governor Trudeau. I met with these foreign leaders. Go ahead.
Sir, this next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
Good. That's a good one. Birthright. That's a big one.
What about that one in the court? That one is likely.
Could be. I think we have good ground, but you could be right. I mean, you'll find out. It's ridiculous. We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. But, you know, we'll see. We have very good grounds.
Sir,
People have wanted to do this for decades.
Sir, this is a proclamation declaring a national emergency at the southern border of the United States.
That's a big one. A lot of big ones, huh? You know what that means, right?
President Trump, did President Biden leave you a letter?
He may have. Wait. Don't they leave it on the desk? I don't know. Oh,
What's in there?
thank you, Peter. It could have been years before we found this. Wow. Thank you.
Can you read that on the outside?
Maybe we should all read it together.
Let's read it.
Well, maybe I'll read it first and then make that determination.
Yeah, read it
Peter,
first.
thank you very much. I may not have seen this for months.
Happy to help with the passing of the torch.
I did, I left him one in the desk, just like this.
What are you talking about?
That was the letter that Biden left him. That's something that they do as a tradition. As a tradition, they try to, leave one another a letter, letting them know. Just, I guess, being encouraging. Probably talking sugar, honey, iced tea. They probably know that they're going to read it in front of everybody, so they're not going to say anything that can be detrimental to them. But it's just like a passing of the torch, and it's the nice thing to do. It's the cordial thing to do.
Unification of our country. I didn't know that he gave a pardon to his family because he did it during my speech.
He didn't tell you in the letter?
No, he didn't tell me. No. He did it. They released it during my speech. During my speech. So all I could do was say, excuse me, I'd like to come back and speak some more. So, no, we were surprised by that. It's
Mr. President,
it's bad precedent, obviously.
where are you thinking on tariffs on Mexico, given these actions you're signing on the border?
Well, we're thinking in terms of 25% on Mexico and Canada because they're allowing vast numbers of people. Canada's a very bad abuser also. Vast numbers of people to come in and fentanyl to come in.
When do you think you would enact those?
I think February 1st.
Are you planning on giving notice of that?
I think we'll do it February 1st
25% on both, sir,
Sir,
on each.
on each, yes.
this is an executive order, taking a large number of executive actions to secure our southern border.
Okay. Sounds reasonable.
We're going to get our material back that they try to sell.
President Trump, we remember 4 years ago, Barack Obama had told you that the top threat to the country was going to be North Korea. Did Joe Biden tell you what he thinks the top threat to the country is?
No.
Why not?
I think we have a lot of them. Right now, I think we have a lot. I think North Korea turned out to be good. I was very friendly with him. He liked me. I liked him. We got along very well. They thought that was a tremendous threat. Now, he is a nuclear power, but we got along. I think you'll be happy to see him coming back.
And
I think he has tremendous condo capability. He's got a lot of shoreline.
Thank you, sir.
Are you going to work with countries from South America to coordinate on immigration,
Thank you, Heather.
about immigration in general?
This is an executive order. Sorry, sir.
I'm fine with legal immigration. I like it. We need people. And I'm absolutely fine with it. We want to have it. We need it because we're going to have a lot of companies coming in to avoid tariffs. If you don't want tariffs, all you have to do is build your plant in the U.S. So we're going to have a lot of workers coming in. But we have to have legal immigration.
Do you have a date in mind for when you want to put in on the China tariffs?
Which one?
60%?
No. You're talking about which? Say it again.
The China tariffs, the broad
China?
tariffs?
Well, as you know, I put on large tariffs on China, and they've really been forced to leave them. And if we didn't leave them, you wouldn't have one steel mill that's open in this country because they were dumping massive amounts of steel. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars from China because they were unable to terminate the tariffs I put on China because it was too much money and the budgets didn't work and other reasons too. No, we're going to have meetings and calls with President Xi. I spoke to President Xi last week, as you know. Did you know that? I had a very good phone call.
Did you come with NATO at this moment? Are you planning to meet your NATO allies?
No, NATO has to pay more money. NATO has to pay 5%. We are, we're in the Ukraine war by $200 billion more than NATO. It's ridiculous.
Jesus.
It affects them a lot more. We have an ocean in between. And we've spent $200 billion more on Ukraine than NATO has spent. And they've got to equalize.
Goodness gracious.
Xi about, you talk to Xi about the Ukraine war.
Yeah.
Because China and Brazil together has a proposal to bring Russia and Ukraine to talk.
That's good. That's fine. I'm ready.
When are you going
That's
to talk with the Brazilian
How did
president?
Brazil get involved?
Brazil's involved.
This is a new one.
When are you going to talk to Lula?
Are you from Brazil?
I'm from Brazil.
Ah.
When are you
That's
talking
good. They're involved, are you?
when are you-
You see how he called her out? He's like, when did Brazil get involved? How you going to include Brazil? Are you from Brazil? This dude got the gift of gab, man. He just talking to her like she just some honey in the club or something at the bar. Like, okay, you from Brazil? Oh, nice to meet you. I didn't know you was from Brazil. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're going to talk with the Brazilian president. How do you see our relationship with Latin America and Brazil?
Great, should be great. They need us much more than we need them. We don't need them. They need
That's
us.
right.
Everybody needs us.
That's right.
It sounds like you will not proceed with additional China tariffs necessarily, depending on how talks go with President Xi. Is that correct?
What does that, define that?
Well, you're asking, you pledged in the campaign potentially a 10% tariff on China or as much as.
Because of fentanyl.
Right, so I'm asking where you're.
That's only because of fentanyl. There are other things too.
Are an additional.
And a
China
very
tariffs-
big thing is the Panama Canal. China controls the Panama Canal. What's that all about? They're not supposed to be good. When Jimmy Carter gave it, which was a terrible mistake, he didn't do it. He didn't give it to China. He gave it to Panama.
Yeah, he did for a
And
dollar.
China controls the Panama Canal.
For a dollar.
We're not going to allow that to happen.
Are they still on the table or is that?
We're not going to allow that to happen.
Thank you, sir.
What can we expect of the countries in NATO that spend the least amount of money, like Spain, France, below the 5%?
Spain is very low. And yet, are they a BRICS nation?
What?
They're a BRICS nation, Spain.
How is
You
that?
know what a BRICS nation is? You'll figure it out. But, and if the BRICS nations want to do that, that's okay, but we're going to put at least a 100% tariff on the business they do with the United States. You know what the BRICS is, right? You guys know.
Brazil,
You know what I'm
Russia.
saying, right? You know what I'm saying.
So Spain is not.
This
in
is
the
a-
BRICS.
So it's not even a threat. In fact, we're involved and go out. It might not be approved under the old days for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months. You know, they had a good ruling from the Supreme Court and it's like nothing happened. That ruling was 6 months ago, you know that. And it was like they didn't have a ruling. They've been treated very unfair. The judges have been absolutely brutal. The prosecutors have been brutal. Nobody's ever treated people in this country like that.
Mr. President, are you commuting the sentences of anyone who assaulted a police officer on January 6th?
Well, we're looking at 2 police officers, actually, that Washington police officers who went after an illegal, and things happened and they ended up putting them in jail. They got 5-year jail sentences. You know the case. And we're looking at that in order to give them we got to give them a break.
But is there clemency in your actions today for
Well,
anyone?
it would be a
who
pardon.
assaulted
That would be a
police
pardon.
officer?
The one I'm talking about would be a pardon.
Here you go, sir. This is
Should
an,
there be punishment for the people who assaulted law enforcement officers that day?
Well, I will say this, they've been in jail for a long time already. I see murderers in this country get 2 years, 1 year, and maybe no time. So they've already been in jail for a long time. These people have been destroyed. What they've done to these people is outrageous. There's rarely been anything like it in history, in the history of our country. And even people that were aggressive, and in many cases, I believe they happen to be outside agitators, but you know, what do I know, right? But I think they were outside agitators. There were outside agitators involved.
How does he do this for so long? Because my brother has been talking all day long. He's been up since like 5 o'clock in the morning. He has been running rallies all weekend. This dude has been running his mouth and trying to get people boosted. And he's already won. He don't even have to do nearly as much as he's doing, but he's doing it. And I only say that because I see some of you say, man, I've been modding and on these live streams for like 15 hours. And I'm glad that you guys are so excited and supporting your favorite content creators. I got to say thank you to you all, especially for pulling up to the LFR family. I really appreciate it. I thoroughly appreciate it. If you got to go and get you something to eat, or you got to go period and go to sleep, or you just don't want to be on YouTube anymore, I get it. I get it. But I do appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for engaging with one another. Thank you for spreading the truth. Thank you just for being the supporters that y'all are, not only for me, but for President Trump. Y'all are the reason why he became the 47th president. I know some of y'all say that myself, Lou Valentino, Officer Tatum, Candace, a whole bunch of people who are running these running these platforms are the reason. But no, it's you all. You all are the reason. Y'all are the reason. Y'all keep us going. Y'all share new information all the time. But this gentleman right here, he's matching our energy. Like, we are doing our part, but he's also doing his part. And if anybody, I don't care if you're Democrat, liberal, independent, Republican, whatever, you cannot say that Joe Biden worked this hard ever. If you remember a time where Joe Biden was working this hard, please let me know, and I will shut the hell up, man. I will have a coconut smile and shut up. I promise you. But I do want to point out the fact that y'all have been working your tail off, and y'all are the reason for what happened today. So shout out to all of you, and thanks again, man.
And obviously the FBI was involved because Ray admitted the FBI was involved. Didn't he say 23 people indirectly or directly were involved? And it was then 26. That's a lot of people. Now we have, we got to take care of these people have been treated so badly. It's never happened before. What happened in Seattle where they took over a big portion of the city? What happened in Portland where they burn down the city every day and people die? Nothing happened to anybody. But they go after these people violently. I mean, they're still going after brand new people. They found somebody else with a picture. There's never been anything like this. And you know, it's almost 100%. Think of this, almost 100% of the people are convicted. 100%. It's Washington, D.C. People go into a trial and they say, oh, I have a wonderful lawyer and I didn't do anything wrong. And they end up in shackles almost immediately and jail. No, we're not going to let it happen.
About Greenland, we have some interest in buying it, but is there any other option that would satisfy you?
About what?
Greenland, instead of buying it.
Finland?
Greenland.
Oh, Greenland. Greenland is a wonderful place. We need it for international security. And I'm sure that Denmark will come along. I think, you know, it's costing them a lot of money to maintain it, to keep it. The people of Greenland are not happy with Denmark, as you know. I think they're happy with us. We had representatives, my son and representatives went up there 2 weeks ago, and they like us. So we'll see what happens. But Greenland is necessary, not for us, it's necessary for international security. You have Russian boats all over the place. You have China boats all over the place, warships. And they can't maintain it.
When are you going to be talking to Vladimir Putin?
Who?
Did you plan to meet President Putin, sir?
I'll be meeting with President Putin.
When?
I don't know. I can't. It's being set up.
Your first trip foreign that might be, sir?
So first foreign trip typically has been with UK, but we did it. I did it with Saudi Arabia last time because they agreed to buy $450 billion worth of our product. I said, I'll do it, but you have to buy American product. And they agreed to do that. They bought $450 billion. It was the least reported story I've ever been involved in.
And now, or are you planning to go now?
Well, I don't know. If Saudi Arabia wanted to buy another 450 or 500, up it for all the inflation.
Mr. President, you say you were going
think
to
I'd
end
probably
the
go
war first day. How do you plan to end the Ukraine war?
Well, we're going to try and get it done as quickly as possible.
Do you want to push Israel and Saudi
It should have
Arabia?
never started. You know, the war with Ukraine and Russia should have never started. It would have never started if I were president.
Will you push Israel and Saudi Arabia to normalize relations?
I don't think I have to push them. I think it's going to happen, but maybe not quite yet. But it'll end up being in the Accords, the Abraham Accords.
President Trump,
I think Saudi Arabia will end up being in the Abraham Accords.
this year.
Could be, but you know, soon, not in a very long way. Oh, look at that! It says TikTok.
President
My,
Trump,
my! What is that all about?
First, we have Alaska, sir. This is an executive order relating to unleashing Alaska's potential as an energy reservoir for the entire nation.
And what about Anwar?
Please do me a favor, guys. When someone submits a super chat, do me a favor and just like their super chat. Show them some love for just going the extra mile. Wow. Right after I said that, when people show love, I want y'all to show them love too. Just let them know that they're appreciated. Let them know that we really appreciate what they're doing. Even if we're not in a position to do what they're doing, we are in a position to just like what they're doing and show them some love. I want y'all to really love on the people who are loving on us. Please. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. For real. That means a lot to me.
I believe that would be included in aspects of the
So
order.
we're opening up and one.
So
On the TikTok piece, President Trump, you and your members of your team now used to warn about the dangers of TikTok spying on Americans. What changed that you're not worried about that anymore?
Well, it depends on the deal. I mean, I may not do the deal or I may do the deal. TikTok is worthless if I don't approve it. It has to close. I learned that from the people that own it. If I don't do the deal, it's worthless, worth nothing.
I did not know that.
If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion.
I didn't know that at all, actually.
So if I do the deal I'm talking about doing it for the United States. If I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half.
The TikTok
In other
CEO
words, I think the US should be entitled to get half of TikTok. And congratulations, TikTok has a good partner. And that would be worth, could be $500 billion or something. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy. But it's worthless if the president doesn't sign, then it's worthless. If the president does sign, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. So I think like a joint venture, I think we would have a joint venture with the people from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's one of many ideas I've
The
had.
CEO is now, did he say that he's open to that idea?
Who?
The CEO of TikTok is around.
Oh, I think he'd probably like it because he's got nothing. They really have nothing. It's passed in Congress. It gives the president a right to make a deal or to close it. And we have 90 days to make that decision. But I could see making a deal where the U.S. gets 50% of TikTok, polices it a little bit or a lot, depends on them. But remember, they make telephones in China. They make all sorts of things in China. Nobody ever complains about that. Here they're complaining about this. There's so many different products made in China, and nobody ever complained about it. The only one they complain about is TikTok. And TikTok is largely young people. I guess I have a warm spot for TikTok that I didn't have originally. But, I went on TikTok, and I won young people up by 36%, Peter. And Republicans typically don't do too well with young people. But it's a different Republican Party.
Would the U.S. government buy a portion of TikTok then, or how would it get that 50%?
No, you take 50% of TikTok for the approval that TikTok can continue in business. And they'd have a great partner. The U.S. would be their partner. But the U.S. essentially would be paid for doing that half of the value of TikTok.
Would there be a private sector owner as
Could
well in
be,
the
yeah,
US?
could be a lot. Tell you what, every rich person has called me about TikTok
You wanted to block TikTok. Why did you change your mind?
because I got to use it. And remember, TikTok is largely about kids, young kids. If China's going to get information about young kids, I don't know.
Are you
I think,
Chinese?
to be honest with you, I think we have bigger problems than that. But when you take a look at telephones that are made in China and all the other things that are made in China, military equipment made in China, TikTok, I think TikTok is not their biggest problem. But there's big value in TikTok if it gets approved. If it doesn't get approved, there's no value. So if we create that value, why aren't we entitled to like half?
Sir, if you don't have any 90 days, will you shut them down?
Does Biden ever do news conferences like this? How many news conferences, Peter, has he done like this?
Like this?
None.
Zero.
I knew it. I knew it. I listen, I realized I was speculating because I didn't have confirmation that Biden never did a sit down like this wherever the question comes from. Trump does not matter whether it's a man, woman, if they sound foreign or domestic. He don't care. He's going to answer their question, give them more information than they asked for. That's what I'm talking about. We finally have a president back in the chair. Do you understand me? We finally have a president back in the chair. Okay, let me just be quiet. I'll be fine, get in trouble.
And it would be zero for the next infinity. For infinity, it would be zero.
Mr. President, President Musk is going to help implement the executive orders? I think you mentioned
No. Elon, no. Elon is very busy sending rocket ships up to various places with lots of satellites on them.
What is your reaction to the confirmation of Marco Rubio on what does it mean for Latin America?
Which one?
Marco Rubio.
Marco Rubio. You said Marco. Marco. Yeah, he's, I think he's great. I think Marco's doing a fantastic job. I think he's going to get a lot of votes. I think he's going to be at 90% or something. I mean, I'm hearing very good. People know him. They know him in the Senate. They know he's good. He's doing a good job. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know what's going to happen with that. He's got some very strong ideas, though, Marco.
You signed
Which one did you sign, Mr. President?
Did you sign the TikTok order?
Yes, that was just.
President Marco Rubio's ideas is
Just signed it.
How many did
still
you sign?
changing Venezuela, changing power. Are you still committed with Maduro leaving power in
Well,
Venezuela?
we're going to find out about that too, because we're going to probably stop buying oil from Venezuela. We don't need their oil.
Another embargo like the first term?
No, it could be, but we don't want to buy, we don't have to buy their oil. We have plenty of oil for ourselves. So
President Trump,
that'll change Venezuela quite a bit.
Guys, we got 1,400 people up in here. How many of you hit the like button? Or are you waiting until the end to see if you enjoy it? To say, oh, okay, fine, I'll hit the like button. Hit the like button, gang. That's the only price of admission for the live streams. Not $1, not $2, not $5. You know, you don't have to purchase the YouTube course. That's in the descriptions below, very first description. You ain't got to do none of that. Just hit the like button.
President Trump, there was a lot of concern about this during the campaign. A question that only works today. Are you a dictator on day one?
No. I can't imagine even being called that. No, I believe in the sanctity of the vote. The Democrats didn't because they cheated like dogs, but I believe in the sanctity, and this was too big to rig. This last election was just too big to rig.
Facts.
But, really the opposite.
When do you plan to speak to President Putin?
Could be very soon.
And you talked a bit about Ukraine and Russia, but how long do you think it would take to end that conflict? And
I have to speak to President Putin. We're going to have to find out. He can't be thrilled. He's not doing so well. I mean, he's grinding it out, but most people thought that war would have been over in about 1 week. And now you're into 3 years, right? So he can't be thrilled. It's not making him look very good. Now, eventually, I mean, it's a big machine, so.
Listen, I heard somebody say that someone asked Trump a rude question. Trump don't mind. He don't care. He want to answer all of the questions. All they're going to do is question how he plans on doing it. They're not business people. Oh, so you plan on getting 50% from TikTok? How you plan on doing that? You plan on stopping the war? How you plan on doing that? Just because Biden wasn't able to do it. No, it wasn't about Biden not being able to do it, although I don't believe that he was able to do it. I don't think he was capable of doing it. I don't think he wanted to do it. He wanted there to be war. You know what I mean? He was getting his money from somewhere else, under the table, from other countries. That's why he cleared everybody, his friends, families, his friends and family that he thought would be arrested once Trump became the president. That's it. That's it. And also, I came across something that I want to share with you guys because I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. The fact that when you actually sign a pardon, you're actually confessing that you did. You're admitting guilt to whatever you're signing the pardon for. So the person that receives the pardon, if they accept the pardon, they are accepting that they are guilty of whatever they're accepting the pardon for. Yep, we'll talk about that a little later, though. All right, let's get back to it.
Things will happen, but I think it'd be very well off to end that war. We have numbers that almost 1 million Russian soldiers have been killed. About 700,000 Ukrainian soldiers are killed. Russia's bigger, they have more soldiers to lose. But that's no way to run a country.
What did your TikTok order do, Mr. President?
Just gave me the right to sell it or close it. Essentially with TikTok, I have the right to either sell it or close it. And we'll make that determination. And we may have to get an approval from China too. I'm not sure, but I'm sure they'll approve it. And if they don't approve it, it would be somewhat of a hostile act, I think. But it's good for China if it gets approved.
Mr. President, you're not guaranteeing that TikTok will be around after 90 days from today.
No, but it could very well be. It makes sense for it to be, because it's got tremendous value. But if we create the value by approving, in other words, that approval gives it tremendous value. If that's the case, then we should be entitled to 50% as a country. You understand? You haven't heard that one before, right? That's called a joint venture. And
Break it down to them, Trump. Teach them some business. That's what they need. They need to be taught business. Thank you. I'm glad that he is touching on that. He's like, have you heard about that before? That's called joint venture. That's what that's called. Okay, let's get back into it.
nobody ever thought that way before. Well, I think you have a lot of people that would be interested in TikTok with the United States as a partner.
Mr. President, what was it like walking into the Oval Office this evening?
Oh, what a great feeling. One of the better feelings I've ever had.
Do you like this town better now than 2017?
Well, we're very experienced now. You would say nobody's ever had experience like I have. I've dealt with some very good people. I've dealt with some very bad people, and I know who the bad ones are and the good ones are. Don't forget, I was very successful in primarily the real estate business. And people used to say, who's worse, a politician or a vicious real estate developer? And I'd always say, the real estate developer is far worse. But after about 3 months and getting to know scum like Adam Schiff and other people like that, I said, no, actually, real estate people are quite nice by comparison.
You said you plan to speak with President Putin soon. What about President Zelensky, and what's your message?
Yeah, I would, but he's told me he wants to make a deal. Zelensky wants to make a deal. I don't know if Putin does. He might not. I don't know. He should make a deal. I think he's destroying Russia by not making a deal. I think Russia's going to be in big trouble. You take a look at their economy, you take a look at the inflation in Russia. So I would hope, I got along with him great, and I would hope he wants to make a deal.
Mr. President, are you keeping U.S. sanctions on Russia until he makes a deal?
Well, sanctions or tariffs. I think the word tariff is much better because it keeps your dollar stronger. I think tariffs are more effective. I mean, I use sanctions on Iran. Iran was broke. When I left office, Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, none. They were flat broke. And October 7th would have never happened. And I think you all know that. It would have never happened. They had no money. Now they're rich, but they're weakened in a different way. I would say that the one attack by Israel really set them back. It really set them back. The pagers and others. The attack on air defense was a bad attack for Iran.
What are you signing now?
It's an executive order relating to reforms to the federal workforce, including to the senior executive service.
We're getting rid of all of the cancer. I call it cancer. The cancer caused by the Biden administration.
How confident are you?
I like that. I like that.
The ceasefire in Gaza and conclude the 3 phases of the deal.
I'm not confident. That's not our war, it's their war, but I'm not confident. But I think they're very weakened on the other side.
Do you support the 2 states?
Gaza, boy, I looked at a picture of Gaza. Gaza is like a massive demolition site. That place it's really got to be rebuilt in a different way.
Do you plan to help rebuilding Gaza?
I might. Gaza is interesting. It's a phenomenal location. On the sea, best weather. Everything's good. It's like some beautiful things could be done with it, but it's very interesting. But some fantastic things could be done with Gaza.
How do you see the future in governance for Gaza?
Well, it depends. I can't imagine you certainly can't have the people that were there. Most of them are dead, by the way, right? Most of them are dead. But they didn't exactly run it well. Run viciously and badly. So you can't have that.
Mr. President, on TikTok, sir, do you pause any decision on Chinese tariffs until you know what the resolution on TikTok will be?
No, if China didn't approve it, we could put tariffs on China. Don't forget, China charges us tariffs and we charge them very little, except for what I did. I put a lot of, we took in hundreds of billions of dollars. But until I came along, China never paid 10 cents to this country. They ripped us off and they never paid anything. But like if we wanted to make a deal with TikTok and it was a good deal and China wouldn't approve it, then I think ultimately they'd approve it because we'd put tariffs on China. Maybe. I'm not saying I would, but you certainly could do that. And if we said, well, if you're not going to approve it, then that's a certain hostility and we'll put tariffs of 25, 30, 40, 50%, even 100%. And if we did that, I think they'd approve it.
President Trump, you've seen the other living presidents a couple times in the last few months. If you ever had to call on one of them for advice about anything that's going on, which one would you call?
That's a great question. That must be Peter Doocy. That must be Peter Doocy. If you can call on any other president for some type of advice, which one would you call? He probably say Biden. I would like to ask Biden. I need some advice from Biden. If he say Biden, bro, I promise you, I would just fall out right now. I don't know. I just will fall out right now, like right away. Heather, listen, Heather, you listen, let me tell you something. Heather, we've been through this many times. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. You already know the love is definitely mutual. I just don't want you breaking the bank for this live stream. I go live all the time. Save your pennies. You know what I mean? Save your dollars. Drop $10 here and there. I love you, man. No more, please. All right. I'm not going to fight you. I'm just saying. Okay. Thank you. And sorry to point you out, but come on. I don't want you doing too much. That's all. I really don't want you. I don't want any of you doing too much. All right, let's continue. Thank you so much for everyone that submitted a super chat, whether it's $2, $5, $10, $20, $100, $200, and in Heather's case, Jesus, God is good. God is absolutely amazing. I do want to say this, guys. I never thought that I would be in a position, and thank you for showing support. I never thought that I would be in a position supporting Trump the way that I do. I was vehemently against Trump at one point, and I honestly didn't really have a reason why. I really didn't have a reason why. It was because of the stories that I was hearing from him about the Central Park Five, him going after the Central Park Five people, him not allowing Black people to live inside of his hotels. You know, the regular stories that's being sold all throughout Black culture through MSNBC or BSNBC or MSDNC, ABC, CBS. It's crazy that they are doing this. CNN, I thought CNN was fair at one point. I thought CNN was for independent thinkers. And then when I found out that they were also a product of the left, it pissed me off. It thoroughly pissed me off. So I started to do my research and listen to you all as well. And now we're here. This guy right here, I'm trying to tell you, whether you're a Democrat or not, you need to understand that this is impressive. This is an old ass man. No disrespect to his age, but come on. He's in his upper 70s. He's in the way he's moving, the way he's willing and dealing, the way he's breaking down how he's able to get a deal done to all of these reporters and not miss a step while he signs these executive orders late at night. And he's been working since early in the morning, and he's been working long hours for the last few months. For the last year, he has been working long hours, and he's still in tip-top shape. Bro, this blows my freaking mind. It blows my mind. You ain't even got to be a fan of Trump to see this. You just got to be fair. You just got to be a fair person in order to see this. This brother is working his ass off, and all of the blessings that have come his way, he absolutely deserves it because he has worked for it. How do you think Tom Brady won so many rings? It's not because he was just the coolest on the field. He worked his tail off. How do you think Michael Jordan's name ring the bells that it ring? He worked his tail off. Tiger Woods ring bells. This dude went years, like 3 years, being the best golfer in the world. People knew that second place was the only option when they played against Tiger Woods. Like, this is what happens when you work your tail off. Elon Musk cannot be stopped right now when it comes to building a platform and innovation. He's worked his tail off. So when I see people with that type of mindset, I love it. It encourages me and inspires me. You know what I mean? That's all I got to say. Also, Patrick Bet-David from Valuetainment. This brother was just now interviewed by somebody trying to figure out how did he get all of his riches and all this other stuff. This dude knows everybody. He's already a billionaire and everything, Patrick Bet-David from Valuetainment. He was asked, who's your favorite person that you've ever met? You know who he said? And this dude is friends with everybody. He's met Michael Jordan. He's met LeBron. He's met every comedian you could think of, every Hollywood star. Do you know who he said his favorite person he's ever met? Donald Trump. Donald Trump, bruh. Think about that. If you are an independent or a Democrat, this ain't about meat riding Donald Trump. This is about being honest, just opening your eyes and understanding what's going on, the lay of the land, reading the room. That's all this is. And now we're seeing him sign all these executive orders. When he was running for president, he said promises made, promises kept. Our job on the LFR family is to make sure that those promises are kept. That's it. He's talking a good game. Now we want to see him do it. Did he talk a good game and actually do what he said in his first term as the 45th president? From what I'm hearing and what I've seen, he actually did. He actually did. Did he build the wall? No, he didn't build the wall, but the border was far more secure because of the executive orders that he put in, because of his attention to it. But he was on his way to building the wall. He had all of the material and everything. So I don't know what was against that, but the dude, he's simply a real man. You know what I mean? And I respect men. And if you want to know how, like, the character and the integrity of a man, look at his fruits. Look at his fruits. Look at his family. Look at his children. Bruh, it's undeniable. Look at his whole family. Everybody's thriving on a level that's crazy, and they all worked for theirs. They wasn't given nothing. They worked hard. I like that, man. I can do nothing but respect it.
It's interesting. Well, I thought Bill Clinton was a very good politician. I don't think he was used properly. I think they disrespected him. When Hillary was running,
I did.
He came back and he said, you know, you better get up to Michigan and Wisconsin. You remember that, Peter?
Thank you, everyone.
A Trump sign on it. And they all laughed at him because the Republicans hadn't won Michigan or Wisconsin for decades, long time. And they all laughed at Bill Clinton. Like, the hell does he know? And he turned out to be right because I won both of them. And then we just won both in this election, too. We won Wisconsin and Michigan and every other swing state. We won all the swing states, all 7. They talked about 7 swing states. We won them all. So, but Bill Clinton he had a great political sense, I think.
So his answer, just to be clear, y'all heard his answer. If he can call on any other president for advice, any other president, dead or alive, his answer is Bill Clinton. Not Bush, not neither one of the Bushes, not Reagan. Bill Clinton, the first black president. I mean, never mind. Nah, I don't want to get in trouble.
You looked like you were having a good conversation with President Obama at President
I
Carter's
was.
funeral.
And you'd like to know what it was? Oh. Everybody wants to know. I know, I wouldn't want to laugh, but we were having some crazy conversations. Why do you asking a question like that? I don't think you want to know. You might not.
Tell us what you just signed.
You might be insulted.
It's an executive order relating to holding former government officials accountable for unlawful disclosure of sensitive information. This next one, sir, is a declaration of a national energy emergency.
So you also.
That's
have
a big one.
several-
You know what that allows you to do? That means you can do whatever you have to do to get out of that problem. And we do have that kind of an emergency.
President Trump, at some point, will you use your powers of the presidency to tell Americans who are concerned about drones?
Yeah.
A
Oh,
few weeks
good.
ago,
Yeah.
what exactly
I
was
will.
happening? Can you tell us now?
In fact, I'd like to know because I just got here.
What do you think?
I just came here. I've been here for what, 15 minutes now.
Do people listening, because this is going out live?
And I got to read this letter too. Because of you, I found this letter.
I can read it for you.
It's interesting. Yeah, I know you would. Your father would too.
But is it anything that you drones? Is it anything that people need to be worried
No,
about?
I think it's terrible. I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
And can you commit to some kind of?
In fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that was, Susie? Okay? Yeah, why don't we find out immediately? I can't imagine it's an enemy or there would have been, people would have gotten blown up all over. Maybe they were testing things. I don't know why they wouldn't have said what it was. They had a lot of them flying over Bedminster, which is interesting.
And with the events today and yesterday, was everything moved inside just for cold weather, or was there some kind of security?
No security. Because they had everything shut down to drones. You can shut that down pretty easily if you're sophisticated. They're very sophisticated, these people. No, it was just cold weather. And we made a good move because, first of all, I thought it was incredible in the Capitol today. You know why I liked it? Because I got great reviews on that speech. I got great reviews. Can you believe it? They actually were fair.
This is
Maybe the fake news is changing.
unleashing energy
Yeah,
production.
unleashing energy production. But I thought it was, I think having it in the Capitol is great. It's obviously, you can take care of the people you have to take care of. The city was booming. And if we would have done it outside, people would have been.
All right, guys. So someone keep on telling me that my sound levels are off. So am I way too loud or am I way too low? I'm watching. I'm paying attention to you guys. I want to fix it for you. All right. Am I way too low or way too high? Sounds fine to me. Trump is too soft. I'm too loud. I'm loud. Okay, I'm loud. Bit loud in contrast. Okay, cool. I got you. I'm on it. All right, cool. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I'm adjusting it now.
Been hurt because it was really cold. It was like, looked sunny. But when you stood outside for 10 minutes, people were running back in. It was really cold and really windy. The wind brings it down a lot. So we made the right decision. You couldn't have stayed. I don't think you could have had it out. You know how cold it was today. It was, people went out for a little while just to
That was
test
so
it.
dope.
They couldn't stay out more than 10 minutes. They all came back.
It was
So
cold
we
as
would have had a
hell.
disaster if we did that. And people would have been hurt.
It was cold as hell today. Oh my, it's still cold. I went outside a couple of times, man. I went to Home Depot. I went to go get me something to eat at Famous Dave's. Man, what? It's cold as heck.
The unlawful disclosure, Neo, is that?
Thank you everyone for the super chat. I really, 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 really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And thank you for the words. Like the fact that y'all can, I appreciate it, man. And I love y'all back. For real. For real. Let's keep on moving in the right direction.
Related to the Hunter Biden situation?
Which one?
The one on unlawful disclosures by federal officials, is that related?
No, I think it's just more general than that. It's not Hunter Biden. I was surprised that President Biden would go and pardon his whole family because that makes him look very guilty. I could have pardoned my family. I could have pardoned myself, my family. And I said, if I do that, it's going to make me look very guilty. I don't think I'd be sitting here, frankly. If I did that, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now.
Facts. 1,000%. 1,000% facts, bro. 1,000% facts. For real. I believe that 1,000%, man.
Because I would have shown that you're guilty. But by pardoning his brother or brothers, by pardoning all of those people that he pardoned, by pardoning J6, The Unselect Committee, they destroyed all of the documents. They deleted all of the information. There's no information. And a lot of the information pertains to Nancy Pelosi because she was given 100, I mean, you know this, it's on tape with her daughter. Nancy Pelosi was responsible for not taking advantage of 10,000 soldiers or 1,000. You wouldn't have you could have used 400. It was a relatively small crowd. It wasn't the crowd that was at the mall. It was a small crowd. So I was a little bit surprised that he did it because it makes him look guilty. I mean, he's going to have to live with it. Now, with that being said, it's unbelievable precedent it creates for a president. But the precedent is unbelievable. Now, maybe every president that leaves office, they're going to pardon every person they ever met. So they don't have some lunatic like deranged Jack Smith, who's a total lunatic, by the way. Not a smart guy either, he's a dummy. But we beat the hell out of him. And I helped my reputation.
Do you think you'd have to do the same thing at the end of this term?
Well, I guess now I have precedent to do it. I wouldn't want to do that. No, I think it makes you look very guilty. I think it makes Biden look very bad, very weak, and very guilty. And I mean, he pardoned everybody. How about this J6 committee? Why is he pardoning them? The reason is because if you delete and destroy documentation, everything, they have nothing because they were guilty as hell. They rigged it. It was a rigged deal. And when you do that, they look very bad. But I was a little surprised he did it. Liz Cheney, I mean, she's a lunatic. And she lost by the greatest margin in the history of a politician running for Congress, like 40 points. The reason it was the greatest is because anybody losing that badly is going to drop out. But she's a nut job. She doesn't drop out. You know, she just keeps chugging forward. And she lost by almost 40 points. That's the biggest number anybody's ever lost by. But why would Biden do that? He pardoned her and pardoned everybody. The reason is that they destroyed documents. And if you're even in a civil case, which this wouldn't be, I mean, people go to jail for a long time for doing that. What's this one?
That's unleashing American energy, sir. It relates to easing permitting processes and other regulatory systems to ensure that we can produce energy efficiently to drive the American economy forward.
President Trump, looking around the office, we noticed some changes from the way that Biden had it set up. Can you confirm that you have added back the Diet Coke fund?
I think this, first of all, I just got here. So my people came in. They have extraordinary decorator sense, right? Let me just see some of the pictures. That's a good one. I could live with him. I could live with George Washington, I can tell you. I could live with Thomas Jefferson. I could live with most of them. They took a very safe route. They don't have any bad ones up there.
Withdrawing from
What is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization. How do you guys feel about that one? How do you guys feel? I want to know how you feel about that one. That's, okay.
So we paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China with 1.4 billion people. We have 350 to pay. We have, nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally, but let's say we have 325. They had 1.4 billion. They were paying 39 million. We were paying 500 million.
Holy crap.
Seemed a little unfair to me.
Oh, now I understand. What in the world? They was graping us. I said grape. They were graping us, man. What in the heck? They must think we some fools, bro. How are we agreeing to that?
So that wasn't the reason, but I dropped out. They offered me to come back for 39 million. In theory, it should be less than that, but you know. And when Biden came back, they came back for 500 million. He knew that you could have come back for 39 million. They wanted us back so badly, so we'll see what happens. Pretty sad though, think of it. China pays 39 million and we pay 500 million. And China's a bigger country.
Bradley, you spoke about inflation today in your remarks. What actions are you taking today that will have a direct impact for Americans on their everyday costs to bring the
Well,
cost down?
the biggest thing and factor for inflation is energy. They screwed up my energy policy. And then they went back to it. You know, they heard it really badly. And then they went back to it and they started drilling more. But by that time, it was too late. Many of these things that we're signing and that Doug Burgum is going to be signing and Chris Wright, who's phenomenal, you know, Energy, Department of Energy. We're going to be taking a lot. We're going to make a lot of money from energy. We have more than anybody else. We're going to make a lot of money from energy. We're going to make a lot of money from tariffs. You know, European Union charges us, they have a VAT tax of 20%, but it's really much higher than that. And that's the equivalent, almost the equivalent of a tariff. And they're tough. They're very tough. They don't take our cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take almost anything. And yet we take their cars and we take their farm product. We take a lot from them. So, you know, we have like a $300 billion deficit with the European Union. So we'll straighten that out with either tariffs or they have to buy our oil. The one thing they can do, our oil and gas, the one thing they can do to catch up quickly, buy our oil and gas.
Will you travel?
And they should do that.
Will you travel to China this year?
Yeah, it could be. I've had the invite.
Mr.
President Xi
President,
invited
I would
you
do,
to
yeah.
come this year.
talking about the European Union and the tariffs, like, what do you mean when you say that European Union country like Mexico is part of BRICS?
That are what?
BRICS.
Oh, BRICS. No, I was talking about BRICS. BRICS is 6 nations. I think it's 7 nations. And they were looking to do a number in the United States. And if they do that, they won't be happy about what's going to happen to them.
Are you still considering a universal tariff, Mr. President, on all?
Here's my problem with the left, right? And I'm not going to talk for a long time, I promise. I want you guys to go ahead and get you something to eat and rest and all that other stuff. But the left has been saying, and they constantly say, that Trump is ignorant, that Trump is stupid. He's a big baby. Like he just whine, don't have a plan, and he just uses his money to get everything he wants. From what I'm hearing, based off of the conversations he's having while signing these executive orders, he's very well knowledgeable of every topic that they throw at him. I haven't heard him discuss one topic yet that leads me to believe that he need somebody speaking in his ear, or he need a teleprompter to answer the question, or he's going to dodge the question with when I was growing up, I came up in a middle-aged family. Like he don't have one of those. I don't see him doing that. Like, where's his middle-aged family escape story? Because that's essentially what it is. He needs a middle-aged family escape story, and he don't have one. I know somebody that had one, but they were still trying to push her across the line. That just shows how irresponsible we are. That shows how ignorant we are. That shows we'll sell our souls to have the representation that we want in office. And that's unfortunate because we already had a baby in the office for the last 4 years. Somebody that didn't know where his seat was when he left the podium. Somebody who couldn't stand in front of an audience and speak without what you call it? I just now said it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm doing too much daggone talking. This dude is sharp. That's all I'm saying. He's sharp. If he's not, call me out. Call me out on my sugar honey iced tea. But I think he's sharp. Everybody that's watching me right now on X, please hit the like button. Like, hit that love button. I'm talking to y'all too. I'm not just talking to the people on YouTube. I'm talking to my people on X too. If you're watching this on X, please hit the like button and consider sharing this bad boy too. Thank you, gang.
I may, yeah, but we're not ready for that yet. We may wrap it, because essentially all countries take advantage of the U.S. We don't make any good deals in the U.S. It's amazing in a way that we exist. We don't make good deals. We don't have any good deals. We have a deficit with almost, not all, there are a couple, I won't tell you their names because I don't want them to find out about it because they'll feel stupid. But there are a couple of countries that, actually don't make money with us. But I don't want to let you know because they'll immediately change that. But we're gonna do, I tell you what, our country has an amazing economic future. I really believe that.
What kind of universal tariff if you did?
Well, you put a universal tariff on anybody doing business in the United States because they're coming in and they're stealing our wealth, they're stealing our jobs, they're stealing our companies, they're hurting our companies. So you put a tariff on to keep them from doing that.
Mr. President, you surround yourself with a whole bunch of billionaires today. President Biden has his farewell address about oligarchy. I'm wondering if you can respond to that.
Well, he had a lot of guys, and then they found out that he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And they deserted him. They deserted him. Those same guys. Look, I don't make pretenses, smart guys, but there are a lot of smart people around. But they did desert him. They were all with him, every one of them. Now they're all with me. I don't know. It's not going to get anything from me. I don't need money, but I do want the nation to do well, and they're smart people, and they have. They create a lot of jobs. And if they don't do it, China's going to do it. What they've done is they've taken industries and they've taken it away. They outsmarted China. And, we sort of like that. It's okay. They've done a great job. A lot of them, not all of them.
Protecting women from radical gender ideologies.
Ooh.
Mr. President, going back to the World Health Organization, you were the president during COVID. Don't you see the importance of organization like that to coordinate a global response?
Sure, I do, but not when you're being ripped off like we are by the World Health. World Health ripped us off. Everybody rips off the United States, and that's it. It's not going to happen anymore. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, Phil.
One last one, sir. This is your Martin Luther
Thank you,
King
guys.
Day proclamation.
Thank you, President. Thank you, sir.
That was impressive. I have to say, that was impressive. I just in my opinion, the brother sat there and signed all those executive orders. He explained in detail how he planned on getting things done. He answered every single question that came his way. He didn't duck and dodge one. Not all the question was nice questions. They all seemed like they wanted to be taught something. But he gave them a brief example of how he planned on getting things done, and they were fine with it. There was no follow-ups like you didn't answer my question. None of that. It wasn't none of that. There wasn't one gotcha moment. Bro, how in the hell is he surrounded by Karine Jean-Pierre? This is what she does for a living. This is all she do for a living, is stand in front of reporters and ask questions. Not even she can do this. Karine Jean-Pierre had to lie her ass off for 4 years in front of the press. That's all she had to cover up Biden and Kamala's bull sugar honey iced tea for 4 years. She got gotcha moment after gotcha. People was just destroying her. Peter Doocy was one of them. This dude just went through everything, and there was not a problem. Not one problem. He mixed in his personality. He was still cool, calm, and collected while doing it. That dude's a man. That's a man, bro. Sis, that's a man. Anybody can. That's what we need in office. That's what we need in office. I don't want nobody weaker than me in the office. I don't want nobody dumber than me in the office. Frailer than me, like somebody that I can depend on, somebody that can walk into a negotiation room with another prime minister, another president, another dictator, whatever the case may be. And America still comes out on top when that door opens. That's what I want. That's what I want. I don't care how you look or how you dance or how you relate to black people or how you relate to this group or that group. I don't care about none of that. None of that stuff push our country forward. If anything, it's been pushing us backwards. This dude is sharp, man. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but based off what I just now saw, he just now proved to me again that he's the right man for the job. He's the right man for the job. All of my future content creators in the LFR family, on X, anywhere, if you're looking for somebody to show you how to do it, check out my course that I created. It's inside of the descriptions. It's way less expensive than hiring me as a coach. Not trying to put myself up there, but we've been helping a lot of people. Most of the people I work with, they go from 0 subscribers to 1,000 subscribers in less than 30 days. I promise you, that's just what we do. We know exactly what to do. All right. Some people that are working with me right now are making more than 5 figures per month. Listen, it's because we have been studying YouTube for 5 years. The inauguration is on this day, but I actually did my very first reaction video on January 1st, 2020. January 20th, 2020. So this is actually the anniversary of the first day that I did a reaction. I used to react to music and then comedy and then other things. And we learned a lot along the way. And now we're helping other people do it, whether they're older, younger, beautiful, goofy looking like me, funny, dry, a brainiac, cool kid. It don't matter. All right. I will help you out. I will walk you through it. I will teach you how to do it. If you're not comfortable enough with your stage presence, then we'll work on that. But at the end of the day, you have a whole lot of value that you need to be putting out there. That's it. You have a lot of value. If you're a husband, you have so much value. We're in a world filled with young men who move as if they don't have a man in their life. Do you hear me? You can go on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. A lot of these young men that get in front of these cameras, they treat women and they treat themselves as if they don't have a man in their life. They need people like you, people who have children, people who are men in their household, people who have a wife or had a wife, had a love of your life that you treated with respect and dignity. They need people like you to put value out there in the world. Also, you women are desperately needed out there, especially if you've run a family before, especially if you've helped out with your family's children, or you've been a teacher and a nurturer before, or if you know how to do many things. Listen, your value is definitely needed out there. Just saying, we all have something to offer. All right. And the only reason why I'm doing this now is because I've been saying a prayer every single day for a long time now. And it goes like this: Dear Lord, give me the wisdom to do the thing you put me on this earth to do in a way that pleases you and serve the people that you will have me to serve. And God is showing me ways to serve his people while pleasing him. So maybe I'm not already there, but I'm on my way. And while I figure it out, hopefully you will be one of the people that I join forces with. Thank y'all so much for pulling up. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all are absolutely amazing. All of my mods, the mod squad, Angel, Lisa Marie, Katarina, Renee, B, Shoemaker, Blue Rose. It was a couple of them that I'm missing. Heather. You know how I feel about you. Cut it out. Miss Thang. Shout out to Miss Thang for helping out as much as she possibly can. Thank you so much. All of you guys, I really appreciate you. And everybody that joined in to keep the chat moving, to keep it engaging. Scoop, I saw you pull up too. Thank you guys. And everybody who submitted a super chat. Thank you so much. Doc Holliday, Wolf Den Lin, John O'Rourke. Thank you again, big dog. Rule number 9, Vicky Drake, Ali Summers. Thank you so much. Ali. Darlene Combs, Christy, Jermaine. Thank you. Addie Finch. Thank you so much, gang. I really appreciate all you guys. Natashka. What's up, Natashka? I haven't seen you in a long time. Thank you so much for pulling back up. I'm glad to see you around and doing well. And I pray that you and your family are well as well. Make sure that you love on yourselves. Give God all praise, glory, and honor for your blessings that he bestow upon you and your family on a daily basis, for putting a roof over your head, keeping you warm while it's cold outside, keeping you cool while it's hot outside, protecting you from seen and unseen dangers, allowing you to go to bed and rest at night and wake up in the morning, giving you eyes to see, a tongue to talk, ears to hear, legs to walk. There's so many blessings that God blesses with. Just make sure you bless. I mean, if you don't want to point them all out, just thank him for grace and mercy. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Love y'all. Keep showing love to yourself and everybody else. Peace, gang.